talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. Yeah, we Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairin', gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, Black Sun, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairin' on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairin' on them, Ric Flairin' on them, Ric Flairin' on them, Ric Flairin' son up.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered a leash. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
Good evening, kings and queens of the Offscript community. Listen, I like to bring y'all in, and if you would just lend me your ears for this shirt occasion, I would love to school you in some information. Now, as you can see by the, first of all, you know, you are getting a 2-for-1 special because I was going to go away in my hiatus and just wouldn't see me again probably until like, Offscript gaming is in full effect. We're playing NCAA, but I had searched upon Google and I had dibbled and dabbled on the YouTube. And while I was scrolling through the white man's YouTube, I had stumbled across a platform. And it was brother Darian from Locked On HBCU. Now, let me be very clear. This is no indictment on the brother. I have met the brother. So it is just my opinion of his opinion. That is all today is requiring. There is no shame towards that brother. All right. He is a king, and the people that he has surrounded himself are kings as well. But they have been hoodwinked. They have been bamboozled by the message of said king. He calls himself the mouth of the South, but he has been bringing the people in the wilderness. But today, I said today we're going to get to the minutia of the message. Okay, because the question, I say again, the question of the day is continuity a myth? Is continuity a myth? Now, I'm going to bring up Webster's, the white man's dictionary of what myth means. Okay, that's just that's how we do here on Brother Offscript. Okay. Now, let me share my screen with you all so you all can then see what myth is. All righty. It says, the white man reads, says, a usually traditional story of ostensibility, that's them big white words, historical events that serves to unfold part of the worldview of a people or explain a practice, belief, or natural phenomenon. A popular belief or tradition that has grown up around something or someone. An unfounded or false notion, okay? That is what the white man describes as a myth, right? So either way, a popular belief, as the brother he has a belief, okay? A tradition that he has grown up around, something or someone has bamboozled this young man to think of such things. Okay. But as I see down here, if we come down further, an unfounded or false notion. Reading of the white man's dictionary. That is what a myth is to become. Now, you can go to the white man's YouTube and you can look up said video. I won't go into all the detail because it is a 20-minute spectrum and I don't have the time, right? But I did have a short clip of what his premises were on the video. Brother Will, can you play that for me?
This was a huge word when you were looking continuity. This was a huge word when you were looking at who FAMU was going to pick for the new head football coach. And 5 months into the James Colsey era, I'm here to tell you what I told you 5 months ago. Continuity is a myth. To get off of my chest for a while, and that's a message to FAMU, to Rattler Nation, when looking at the state of the team today as opposed to where it was 5-6 months ago. Continuity is a myth.
but Willie Simmons isn't here. So now this same talking point gets viewed from a different lens. And I'm here to tell you continuity is a myth. Let's get some more disclaimers out there. This is not a why'd you hire James Colsey topic. This is not a FAMU's going to be bad topic. You have to separate those thought processes. If you kind of, and I think there are some fans who did this, if you are one of the fans who kind of made success in 2024 synonymous with continuity in the coaching staff and picking James Colsey, or I can't remember who the other option was, but basically hiring in-house and being successful in 2024 for these next, the word continuity. When I say continuity, this is not my terminology. These are things I heard from Rattler Nation. And I
brother, ew. Brother, ew. Now, he says it's not his terminology, but you're throwing it around all willy-nilly, all diddly-dally. You're throwing, it's not your terminology, but you told us 5 months ago that that continuity was a myth, but it's not your term to throw around. Brother, you're confused. I say again, brother, somebody has bamboozled you, my brother. Okay? It's sad to see my Kings go out like this. Let them continue.
I heard them from Rattler Nation often. In the entirety through the coaching search, I kept hearing, you got to, Billy Roll. That's the other guy I couldn't remember at the moment. You got to pick Billy Roll. You got to pick James Colsey. This is the continuity hire. If you want to win next year, you need continuity. I always pushed back on that, and I still push back on that. And as we're 5 months into the James Colsey era, and I'm looking at the roster, I'm here to tell you continuity is a myth. Now, the difference between when I say this now and when I said this 5 months ago is I was kind of just predicting, so to speak. If you want to put quotes, air quotes on it, I do. But now I actually have some real tangible proof to back up why continuity is a myth for FAMU. I already think it's a myth in general. I don't think you.
See, this is where the brother lost me. If the brother would have stayed on topic and said continuity for FAMU is a myth, I might have jumped on that bandwagon. I probably would have seen what street he was going down. Not that I would have followed the brother, but I probably would have looked to see what street he was on. But when the brother said continuity is a myth throughout college football, you lost me. The mouth of the South hasn't gone above the Mason-Dixon line. Can I get an amen on that, brother? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us that looking at the landscape of the white man's world, you can see the future from the past. And if the mouth of the South would have done his due diligence, he would have seen that major institutions also hire within to keep continuity. Has that not been a trend? Or going to a person or coach that knows the school, that's either an alum of the school or some type of in-house thing that works for said school, right? So continuity in college football is not a myth. It is, the funny thing about it, he's looking at it the wrong way, in my personal opinion. Continuity is what every coach is striving to keep, but it's hard to grasp. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. The mouth of the South probably didn't hear me. I am in Ohio. Continuity is something that every coach strives to have, but it's hard to grasp. It's not a myth, right? A myth is something like, hey, you know, if you run the wing T, you'll win. Like back in the day that worked, but now it doesn't, right? You're not going to be guaranteed anything with that. Continuity is always what every coach is going to strive to have because, right? If it wasn't important, most coaches wouldn't fight to keep the team that they have together. They understand the landscape of college football, that the freedom of player movement is at the highest, still does not deter them to try to build a team through continuity. Let them continue.
You can really achieve that in college football. But we'll get to that at the end of the show, because right now I want to stay very specific to the Rattlers, okay? FAMU was never going to have the same team once Willie Simmons left. First off, you had graduations. Let's just get that out the way. You had graduations that were going to take your team in a completely different direction, no matter if Simmons had left or stayed. Jeremy Musa, he didn't leave because of Simmons. He left because he graduated. Isaiah Major, he didn't leave because of Simmons. He left because he graduated. Both of those men tried to test their luck at professional football. And Willie Simmons left himself. So once you incorporate Musa, Major, and Simmons all leaving, you lost the leader of your offense.
That's enough from the brother. I think, once again, you can go and look at it for yourself on Locked On HBCU on his own platform, and you can listen to the whole thing. I just kind of wanted to give you a gist of where he was leading, talking about graduation. And the funny thing is, brothers and sisters, he brings up the graduation and says, oh, I understand, like, graduation is a part of the college landscape, so I know I can be talking on both sides. I'm like, yeah, that's the matriculation process of college athletics. Like, we all know graduation is to come. We all know that there's a time limit on everything. So continuity in the time frame of college athletics is what you try to strive for in the time frame that you have the individual, right? If you're coming out the transfer portal, I got 2 years, 1 year, a grad year. I'm trying to make it work with what I have. Now, this is my problem. let me just say this. I completely disagree that continuity is a myth. Completely disagree. And I will also go as far as to say is that for FAMU, hiring James Cozy, in my personal opinion, because once again, Kings and Queens, I said it's not an attack on him. It's my opinion on his opinion, right? In my opinion is this, from everything that I've heard about FAMU, about Florida, is FAMU and the state of Florida is just different. It's just different. The players, the situations, the circumstances. I've heard it from Coach KJ Black. I've heard it from Willie Simmons. I've heard it time and time and time again that the players from the state of Florida and the circumstances that those kids come from in the state of Florida is just different. So was it in their best benefit? Because I don't think you could have went wrong with any one of these guys. I don't think you could have been wrong with hiring James Cozy or Billy Rowe. James Cozy, a Florida State champion, understands Florida, part of the Willie Simmons coaching, underneath his coaching tree, right? Billy Rowe, a freaking legend in South Florida, right? You're going to have all the resources that he comes with, as well as his knowledge of Florida. It takes a special kind of coach to keep in-state kids in-state and understand what you're getting with Florida kids, mind you, without all of the extra GAs, PAs, LAs, all that extra stuff that comes with Power 5 resources, right? Because you can get 5 Florida kids to go to Alabama and have them followed around by GAs all day, or offensive analysts or defensive analysts all day, right? But see, I want to get back to the word continuity, because if you go and listen to the whole thing, where I probably got I didn't listen to the part that the section, he talks about continuity being rare and that it's a myth and that is this and that is that. But he also brings up stats of people jumping in the portal. Geno Hunt, Sharif Sai, Cheney. He brings all these kids that jumped into the portal. But what he does not reference is the last champions all had 2-year starters. This negates his whole argument. Every team that has either gone to a championship or been in a championship game has had the continuity of a 2-year starting quarterback. And you can even go as far as Alcorn with Felix Harper. Right? This is the way of college athletics. The better teams have the continuity, players, coaches, time in and time again. So you have a better chance of winning, of succeeding with the continuity. The natural, you can't, this is the thing that kills me, is your argument cannot be your head coach left, players jumped in the portal. That doesn't mean there's no continuity. No, because at the end of the day, there are kids. He doesn't mention any of the kids that stayed. Jalen Goss, Woo. He doesn't mention any of your Celebration Bowl MVP, Kelvin Dean, is still on the team. Like, he doesn't bring any of that stuff up. But when you want to make your argument for you, you only bring up what works for your argument. Kelvin Dean is still on the team. Jeremiah Pratt still on the team. Jalen Goss is still on the team. Kendall Bowler is still on the team. Does that not mean continuity? James Cozy coached Kendall Bowler. Does that not mean there's continuity? The quarterbacks have been in with Joseph Henry for the last 2 years. They haven't started, but they've been with Joseph Henry for the last 2 years. Right? Except the new kid that came in from FAU. So I'm confused about how continuity doesn't work for the kids that stayed and for the coaches that stayed on staff. It only becomes a myth when you lose a few players. Like, this isn't Jackson State when Deion left, you lose 70 players in the portal. That's not what this is. He literally mentioned 5 players that jumped into the portal. 5 players that jumped into the portal. The team has like 60 players. And then he talks about the people that they brought in from the transfer portal. But this is the crazy thing. Jeremy Musa was a transfer portal kid that stayed for FAMU for 2 years. So in his new transfer, he became the continuity that FAMU was looking for. Bishop Bonnet, continuity. The running back room, continuity. The same running back that played last year is the same running back that's coming back this year. Continuity. So I'm just confused about how it's a myth. Even if you wanted to isolate it for FAMU, there are still players on this team that have and know James Cozy. How does that work? There's not a whole new team that James Cozy is coaching. Yes, he's bringing in transfer portal guys, but there is a group that have been there time and time again with James Cozy. The continuity that I would be looking for in James Cozy is this: the continuity between coaches and the coaches understanding each other. That is huge, right? Because what you don't want to mess up is the culture that FAMU has brought in, the winning culture, right? The trust that these players have in the coaches. See, he's completely missing this. Michigan did the same exact thing. John, whatever one, goes off to the NFL. They bring up the black coach that has been his right-hand man and make him the head coach. Why? Because he can talk to the players that are on that team who do decide to stay. He can keep the same coaches on staff that kids have built relationships with, that he understands their work ethic. Because the worst thing that could have happened for FAMU is they bring in a coach nobody wanted. They had to, everybody jumps into the portal. And now you're rebuilding your whole team through the portal. Coaches, everything. That is what you don't, that's what you did not want. But James Cozy, understanding the chemistry of the team, understanding the landscape of the team, understanding the expectations that FAMU Nation has, there's an understanding of that. There's not a new guy coming in here saying, well, we're just going to try to. No, James Cozy is not going to hit you with we're just trying to get 6 or 7. He's not hitting you with that. He understands what was left behind and what he has to continue. So he understands the expectations. The players that are on that team that went to the Celebration Bowl understand the expectations, and they trickle that down to all the transfer portal players that have come in. Hey, we got championship aspirations. That is the continuity that you're looking for in a college football team, to where you have championship players on trying to repeat as champions. That's what that looks like. So is continuity a myth? Only if you don't want it. Only if FAMU would have allowed the AD to have her wish and completely gut a championship team, would there not be any continuity? But continuity being a myth for FAMU and for college football athletics is absolutely wrong. It's asinine. Every coach is looking for it. Everyone. That's just the nature of the business. They understand that players are going to come in and come out quickly, but you're always looking to build continuity. You would always prefer to have a 2-year starter over a 1-year starter in your program. Just because it's harder to find does not make it less of a gem to have. And that's where I believe he's missing the point, is continuity is a rare gem to find. It's not a myth, though. It hasn't gone missing. It's just a hard gem to find and dust off and keep because of the college football landscape. But does FAMU have continuity? Absolutely. The biggest loss to FAMU is Willie Simmons. Willie Simmons is the biggest loss to FAMU. There is no greater loss to FAMU than Willie Simmons. Not a player, not Musa, not Cy, not Chaney, not Major. It is Willie Simmons. He is the biggest loss to FAMU, because I say this all the time. In the state of Florida, FAMU can spin around 3 times, throw a rock, and hit a dude with dreads that runs a 4.344. So talent is not a problem. It is the execution of that talent. It is the play calling. It's the scheming of that talent. But has FAMU lost continuity? Absolutely not. That's why you keep James Cozy on staff. That's why hiring Billy Roll wouldn't have been an issue as well. Is continuity a myth at FAMU? What I said 5, you was wrong 5 months ago. You was wrong 5 months ago, just like you wrong now. So take that how you will. FAMU, I said I wasn't gonna talk about y'all, but I had to help you out. And let me say this. No matter, listen to me what I tell you. See, his point was that I want to be very clear, because I would not be surprised if he came back 2, 3, 4 months later, with the results of the season, and if FAMU is not a winner, he will say, "What did that continuity get you?" Continuity does not mean wins. I'm going to say that again. Continuity does not equal wins. It equals a higher chance to win, but it does not guarantee you any victories. You still have to go out and play the game accordingly. So I want to be very clear. Just because the notion is that continuity is a myth. FAMU does not have continuity. That's his thesis is all wrong. Right? If he wanted to say continuity does not equal wins, I would have given it to him. It does not. It does not always equal wins. Does it give you a better chance? Absolutely. Would I prefer to have a 2-year starter over a 1-year starter? Absolutely. But it does not always guarantee you wins. I like what Telja says. Continuity equals consistency. I like that. Right? It keeps you in the driver's seat of being competitive. But it does not guarantee you wins. It does not guarantee you a championship. It guarantees you a chance to compete at a very high level if you have a team that has continuity. They know the expectations. It's like NCCU is a perfect example of that. Davius Richard plays that sophomore year where he goes crazy in the Alcorn game. They don't make it. No, they do make it. I'm sorry. They do make it to the championship against Jackson State. No. I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. The year that they beat Alcorn in the MEAC SWAC Challenge, South Carolina State goes to the Celebration Bowl. But the continuity, let me teach you something out from the South. The continuity that NCCU was able to keep and come back with next year allowed them to win the Celebration Bowl. It is the same area that FAMU was in. The continuity from Musa and all those guys coming over another year, no Dion, had them able to dominate the SWAC the way that it was. That's just the name of the game. That's just the nature of the beast. So it is what it is. So is it a myth? Absolutely not. Is it the number one goal? Should it be one of the goals that coaches strive for? Absolutely. You want to build a team that you can count on from year in and year out. Understandably, you understand people going to graduate, people going to transfer. But the basis, the core of your team is your continuity. It just is. Point blank, period. All right, guys, listen, that's been my time. I ain't going to keep y'all too long. Y'all got a quick 2-for-1 special for today. I saw that. I had to address it. I had to let it go. But listen, until next time, you already know, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.